Before we go any further, let me set this down carefully. This isn't a call to arms. It isn't a demand. And it isn't me telling you what you should do. Think of this as an honest look at where things tend to break down and where they quietly start to matter. You don't have to agree. You don't have to act. You don't even have to land anywhere by the end. Just listen from wherever you already are. There's a pattern I keep noticing. A lot of people want to fight for something, but only if the fight stays far away. They'll argue, they'll post, they'll debate, they'll stand in crowds and shout the right words. But the moment responsibility moves closer to their street, their town, their city, something changes. Suddenly there's hesitation. Suddenly there's uncertainty. Suddenly there's 1,000 reasons why now isn't the time. And the most common one sounds reasonable on the surface. I don't know where to start. I don't think that's always true. In most cases, the information is available. The steps can be learned. The resources exist, publicly, locally, even freely. Libraries exist. Public records exist. Civic processes aren't hidden. What's actually missing isn't access. It's momentum. There's a steep resistance curve at the beginning of any real action. Before something moves, it feels its heaviest. Before it makes sense, it feels awkward. And before it builds momentum, it feels inefficient. And a lot of people have never had to push through that part. They've always had something else making the decisions, someone else setting the direction, someone else telling them what matters and when. That creates dependency, quietly, over time. So when responsibility finally shows up locally, it feels foreign, uncomfortable, even threatening. Talking stays safe. Action doesn't. There's another layer underneath that hesitation. Local action forces clarity. When something is far away, it's easy to stay morally clean. You can take a position without testing it. You can hold an opinion without consequence. But when the issue is in front of you, when it affects people you see, systems you interact with, outcomes you'll live with, things get messy. Solutions aren't simple. Progress is slow. You don't get applause. And sometimes you find out you were wrong. Outrage doesn't require any of that. It feels productive without producing anything. It offers certainty without understanding. That's why it spreads so easily. But there's a cost. When people skip the hard part, the part where logic gets applied, where understanding is built patiently, where reason is tested against reality, their actions start to drift. They either take the wrong actions or they don't act at all. That's something I've come to believe strongly. Depth doesn't come from intensity. It comes from structure. I live by 3 pillars: logic, understanding, reason. If one is weak, the other 2 can help bring it back into balance. But if logic gets skipped entirely, everything downstream distorts. Content can give you a reason. Not always a good one, but a reason nonetheless. From there, it's easy to believe you understand, even if that understanding is shallow or twisted. And once that happens, action, if it happens at all, moves in the wrong direction. Local responsibility doesn't allow that shortcut. You have to slow down. You have to learn. You have to weigh trade-offs. You have to accept that progress will be partial and imperfect. That's why so many people avoid it. Not because they don't care, but because real responsibility changes you. It takes away the illusion of simplicity. It strips you of the comfort of certainty. It forces you to think for yourself. And that's uncomfortable. But something else happens when you accept that discomfort. You gain something outrage can't give you. Judgment built through logic. Understanding built through contact with reality. Reason that can hold complexity without collapsing into noise. That's where depth comes from. Not from shouting louder, not from knowing more headlines, but from staying present long enough to act where your influence is real. Most people want to fix the world. Very few want to fix their block. And yet, if change ever scales, it only does so from the ground up. Town, city, state, nation. That's how leverage actually works. Distance feels powerful. Proximity is. And this is where everything this week has been pointing. Not as instruction, not as a verdict, just as a mirror. If outrage disappeared tomorrow, if the noise went quiet, if no one was watching what you said, what would still be left for you to do? What are you going to do about it, right where you live?